Straight to the moon, get your ticket now. Everybody line up, get your tickets, we're going. Did you buy the tip? Yeah. Do you like rocket ships? Oh, what a yeah. You wanna try this shit? Yeah. We got everything you need, you better buy some kitty now. Everybody, long live Ponzi. Everybody, long live Ponzi. Everybody, love the Ponzi ride. Never short it. Bitcoin's back, alright.
Alrighty, good afternoon everybody. Today's date is the 6th of June 2021. It is a Sunday. The time is just coming up to 1 o'clock. Welcome to Satoshi's Bitcoin Chart Show. This is the Bitcoin forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network, where we find out what's up with what is going down. And today's episode is going to be dedicated to this chap, Floyd Mayweather. Check it out. So again, we're going to try and make this show as fast as Mayweather's hands, shall we say. So let's have a quick listen to what he said here at the Shitcoin Miami conference.
And I believe that it's going to be, another cryptocurrency that's going to be just as large as Bitcoin someday. It's okay. That's no different from Uber and Lyft.
There we go. He knows it. He knows it, as we all do as well. So Floyd, if you do ever listen to my show or you watch my show, welcome. Yeah, huge fan of yours. But this is Bitcoin. So people are confusing cryptocurrency. Well, cryptocurrencies are scams. Cryptocurrencies are fiat currencies because they're not backed by anything, because they're not commodities. Bitcoin is a commodity. So Bitcoin is cash. Cash is the most liquid form of money. Money has to be a commodity. A commodity has to have value in itself, value in its use case, in order to act as a medium of exchange. A medium of exchange is a tool that enables, encourages, and accelerates the facilitation of trade. Trade being the most valuable thing in the world means the medium of exchange is also likely to become the most valuable thing in the world. Now, in order for it to be a commodity, it cannot have a central point of authority or control. So fiat currency at the moment is a token because it's just simply printed. In fact, it's a toxic asset because it has no value. It's just simply inflated. So businesses are basically fighting a never-ending uphill battle because unless they can either increase their prices in line with inflation or cut their business costs, running costs in line with inflation, then they're effectively always going to go out of business, and you're just simply going to get, it leads to centralization, where just basically a few large corporations basically end up running the entire world. However, when you have a commodity that is divisible rather than inflated, like Bitcoin is, it means that everybody has a chance to survive. It means that small businesses now have a chance to flourish and will actually probably end up taking business away from the larger businesses, which gives freedom and choice for everybody. No choice, no freedom. This is what Bitcoin's all about. So just a quick explanation of what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin, its value comes from its data sovereignty. So at the moment, as you can see here, I've said corporate service, track, monitor, and sell your data under the guise of being free. You upload your data to their corporate services, your family photos, your precious wedding videos, and they own that data because you're uploading it to their servers, and then they sell that data, and they get all these, or basically effectively you're giving up your privacy, and they sell all these data points on you to target advertisers. Now, the issue is, until Bitcoin came along, we didn't have an alternative. Now we have the Bitcoin network. Now, what happens with Bitcoin, because it's a decentralized, distributed, single ledger technology, the key word here being decentralized and distributed, no one controls it, no central point of authority or control, you upload your data onto the Bitcoin network. And because it's decentralized and distributed, it means that there is no single central point of ownership or failure. You have complete sovereignty over that data. And the way you upload it is by the use of Bitcoin. You buy Bitcoin to upload your data to the network, which is why Bitcoin gets its technical value from the speed, cost, and scale of the network. It gets its fundamental value from its size, from its neutral growth and size of the network. So because Bitcoin is fixed in supply, and divisible. It just means as more and more people come in to use the network to start uploading their data onto the Bitcoin network, it becomes more valuable. That's the cycle here. More and more people come in, it just simply gets more valuable. It's a beautiful system, Floyd. So yeah, I can't spend too long on this because I'm trying to keep the show short and I've already been over 5 minutes. Let's move on. Next one. Here we go. So if you're wondering what's happened to Bitcoin, well, this is basically what's happened to Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin chain started by Satoshi Nakamoto, aka Craig Wright, on the 3rd of January 2009. And then on the 24th of August, a group of nefarious developers called Blockstream implemented SegWit, which segregated the signatures on the network. And it's this chain of signatures that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in order to hold all users and developers on the network to account. This is the only way to keep a network truly decentralized, because obviously somebody started it. Somewhere has control. Now, how do you prevent that person from having control? Well, you have to hold them accountable as everybody else who used the networks. And that's the whole point of having a chain of signatures. And this is why Blockstream implemented SegWit on the 24th of August in order to centrally control Bitcoin. And if you don't believe me, we'll just have a listen to, we'll just have a listen to Samson Mao explaining that Blockstream do actually control Bitcoin. Well, it's just a quick one. Let me just see if I can find that. Gonna have to edit this bit out when we get there. Here we go. Check it out.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh, all right. I was looking at you when I said that.
I'm sure you were, Stacey. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And just to give you a clue about how confused people are about this, have a listen to this interview conducted by Daniel Krawitz with Tony Vase. Here we go.
Why do you think BTC is valuable?
It's valuable because it's the only unconfiscatable asset we have. And that is because that comes from its decentralization. I think Bitcoin is the only valuable crypto asset we have because of the nature of how it started in its first few years.
And when you say Bitcoin, you mean BTC, right?
Absolutely.
But are you aware that in 2017, they changed the rules so that BTC no longer follows the Bitcoin white paper?
That is not true at all.
The white paper says that there needs to be a chain of signatures.
Sure.
Okay, so that's not what we have anymore. That's how SegWit changed that.
Okay, but it's still Bitcoin.
Oh dear, oh dear. So as you can see, people are confused about that. So the protocol just continued under a new ticker symbol, but then another group of developers decided that they wanted to take control of the network themselves, led by Roger Ver. And again, it just means that international trade and global commerce are just basically never going to be able to use Bitcoin because they've tampered with it, centralized it, and made it anonymous. And so have a listen to this.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin.
That's me.
And he said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time,
which I do because I run a business,
just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal.
Oh my goodness me. So anyway, just want to carry on here. Here we go. Let's. So now you've heard it now. So Bitcoin is BSV. The original protocol has not changed. It's just simply scaled. Right, let's move on. Here we go. Let's have a look at coin. Let's get into these figures quickly. Check it out. Right, so we have got Core Coin. And just for lulz here, gonna check out my little short videos here. So what do we know about Core Coin, Samson Mao?
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
That's right. What have we got to say about that, Max?
All right.
And Bcrash, we call it Bcrash because Roger actually calls it Bcrash himself. Have a listen.
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
Yeah, good luck with that, Roger. And so, Roger, what do you say to all these these huge multinational companies who are looking to use a medium exchange to conduct large amounts of business and therefore need it regulatory compliant?
The ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card. Fine,
I will, because what you're saying there is just absolutely ridiculous. So we've got CoinDarts recording Bitcoin at $176, and then Prev in the top left of the screen frame, $179. So hash rate 0.5%, network nodes 0.8%, transactions 50.2% of the transactions on the network, beautiful, and block size 83.1. Oh, fantastic. Right then, Michael. So we're just going to have a look at the blocks coming through on Bitcoin. So what do we want, Michael? What are we looking for?
Big blocks.
Yeah. What size?
$100 million chunks.
Oh yeah. Whereabouts?
On the blockchain.
Great stuff. Let's have a look for those now, then, shall we? Whoa! Look at this Tau coming through, coming at you. We got 21 megabyte block, 44 megabyte block, 12, 28, 22, 53. 30, 92, loving that, 14, 46, 16. Yeah, I mean, relatively mediocre blocks for Bitcoin there. But I mean, look, compared to Bcrash, they're lucky to get over a megabyte. And then Corecoin, look at that, they're stuck at a megabyte. They've even got small blocks. Look, nobody's using their network. Dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear, look at that. Usually BTC has got like 1 megabyte blocks all the way through because that's what it's restricted to, but it can't even manage that consistently. Oh dear, oh dear. Classic. All right, let's just have a look at the chain growth here. Oh, look at this, beautiful, beautiful. So the Bitcoin SV blockchain has grown by 14.7 megabytes. Love that. Yeah, just quantifying that here. Look at this. So this Floyd is the original protocol, the red line, and you can see it has surpassed the Corecoin line here in value of data weight on chain. Beautiful, beautiful. That's what we love. Yes, indeed. So these are the hash rates on the network. So again, hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility, follows creativity, initiative, and intelligence. If you are intelligent and you apply creativity and initiative, you can make something useful. When something is useful, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. Proof of work by network, Corecoin, Bcrash will fall into their own footprint. Bcrash, Bitcoin, hash rate, who cares? Bcrash, Bitcoin, proof of work, who cares? It is 7,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Corecoin. And that is probably 11 times cheaper than Bcrash as well, because they're both utter shitcoins. Daily average Bitcoin block size by network, Bitcoin absolutely smashing it. Look at that, BTC dropping off there. Oh dear, could this be the beginning of the end? I think so. Daily Bitcoin transactions by network, yeah, Bitcoin winning, we'll have that. Transactions per block by network, Bitcoin winning, we'll have that. Fees USD, this is fees in the block in terms of the actual sort of block reward fees and not transaction fees. Fees Satoshis, same thing. Well, and fees in the block, not transaction fees in Satoshis. So this is a daily Bitcoin fee stroke block reward ratio by network. Again, got the percentage down here. We'll follow this with time because we're expecting huge increases in price and transaction volume on the Bitcoin network. Yes, indeed. This is one we just looked at. Accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network. Mind the gap. Beautiful, beautiful. Global hash rate 7 days. Yeah, not as relevant as global hash rate 24 hours. Probably the same as Corecoin because they've got like 98% of the hash rate at the moment. Yeah. Pretty much identical. Oh, look at this. Look at Bcrash. Oh, they are struggling. Antpool is 64% of the hash rate. Oh, let's have a look at the profitability here. Oh, look at that. It's only 1% more profitable to mine on Bcrash. Oh dear, oh dear. An ant pool, look at that. It's only 1% more profitable, and your ant pool has got 60.42%. Oh, like, that means that interest is being lost. Interest is being lost on B Crash. Oh, ant pool desperately trying to keep B Crash alive. And look, Hathor has cut their hash rate right down. Oh, oh, I think Hathor has done their job. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is really quite shocking to look at, but this is what we expected. This is what Hathor has been planning all the time. Hathor loading up hash rate on the network so that it's not been all that profitable. But then as it becomes less and less profitable, Hathor has just been reducing their hash rate. The chain is going down. The chain is going down. Oof. Because there's just no transaction volume on it at all. Look, let's look at these figures at the top. Look at this. Transactions 14%, block size 4.4. There is no one using that piece of crap. Oh, dear, oh dear, dear, oh dear. That's quite exciting. You know, shitcoiners gonna get what's coming to them. Dear, oh dear. And this is Bitcoin. So we've got Tau with 58.33. Now you might be wondering like why I'm celebrating the fact that Ampool has got 60% and Hathor 58.3. Well, that's because this chain is growing. The genuine Bitcoin chain is growing. This is it. Whereas Bcrash is going down. It's going nowhere. So there's only going to be more hash rate coming over to Bitcoin. And the whole point of this at the moment is to squeeze these shitcoin enterprises off the chain so that they're not holding any, because they have been artificially suppressing the price. So BTC.com and via BTC is shitcoin enterprises, and we don't want them, so we've been squeezing them off so it's not as profitable. That's why when you look at the profitability here, look at that. So it's 7.6% more profitable to mine on BTC. So they're all mining BTC and they're not holding any genuine Bitcoin. But BTC doesn't have any fundamental value. So how are they going to get their hands on the genuine Bitcoin? Well, they're going to have to be dumping their stash because they haven't been able to mine it and get hold of it because they've been squeezed off the chain. I love what I'm looking at here. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, loving that. Right, so the reason we're squeezing them off the chain is because they've been the short positions have been artificially suppressing the price, which we'll just look at now. Here we go. Come on, Bitfinex. You can do it. Reload this page maybe. Come on. Live show. Can't be dealing with wasting time here. There we go. So where were we originally with... Come on. Bitfinex. Here we go. Come on. Live show and all that. 17 minutes gone. Oh, Diddy Weldon, Savtoshi and KP Dad in the house. Just seen you. Thank you very much for joining me. Short positions 91%. Where are we now? About 89. Yeah, 89. Joke. So Bitcoin blocks live. Here we go for any newbies watching. The vertical rectangular blocks at the top, moving across the top of the screen, are the transactions being recognized by the mining nodes on the network. The moment they're recognized by more than 50% of the mining nodes on the network, which is instantly because it's an ultra small world network, the transactions are confirmed. They are valid. Then they're thrown into the memory pool, which is where they're competed for by the miners and payment processors in order to create a block, put the transaction within a block, and then place the block on the blockchain, which is when they're rewarded with the Coinbase data, otherwise known as the block reward, otherwise known as freshly minted Bitcoin. So if we take this block here, 92.93 megabytes, you can see that we've got the hash of the block height, who it was mined by, size, time, date, transaction count, total fees in the block, $91.88. Now it's this block reward fee that is eventually going to surpass the block reward. Now, if you wonder why I get excited looking at the screen, it just fascinates me, because even though we're just looking at, you know, like colors and numbers and letters on a screen, what's behind that is this. Check it out. All this hardware. This is the Bitcoin network miners. All of this goes into storing that data, keeping it safe on chain. It is a phenomenal system, absolutely staggering. So this is how the Bitcoin, this is how the economics of Bitcoin work. So we're just going to let Laura Shin and Dan Held explain this, what we're looking at. Here we go.
So, you know, as you mentioned, at a certain point when the block reward stops, there will be a transition where miners will be compensated in transaction fees, not in the block reward. And the current amount that they earn is from fees is about 9% of the block reward. And so we'd have to see transaction fees 11x by roughly 2140, which is when the new Bitcoins will stop being minted. But I just wondered, if we don't see an increase in the amount of transactions that can happen at layer one, because the number of layer one transactions is limited. And right now I feel like a lot of the scaling is focusing on layer two. Can transaction fees 11x in that time, or will that require people to pay a lot more per transaction?
Over the next couple halving cycles, we should see it start to predominantly be the value that is compensated to the miners in the block reward. If Bitcoin is the world reserve currency that doesn't have a strong security model, like there's not a lot of monetary compensation in the block reward due to transaction fees, well, then its long-term security will be weak. If it is the world reserve currency, there will be very, very many layer one transaction fees.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you think it is possible that the amount in transaction fees will maybe not be enough on layer one to replace the block reward when the time comes.
Absolutely they won't be, because they've restricted their block size to 1 megabyte, which means it can only handle 7 transactions per second if all the stars aligned. My supermarket couldn't even function on 7 transactions a second. Absolutely insane. So you heard it first, right out the horse's mouth. Ridiculous that they haven't figured it out. All they've got to do is listen to their own bullshit and realize it doesn't make sense. It's crazy. Bitcoin blocks live. So where are we now? 10.8% of the overall transactions. All you've got to do is do literally just a little bit of due diligence on these shitcoins, and you'll find that they're absolutely ridiculous. So we're just going to have a little listen to Vitalik on Ethereum here. Take the floor, Vitalik.
Build on top of that. Turns out we can build a financial
you're
plumbing
saying
layer.
That the concept of launching something that doesn't scale and then rebuilding it as
It
something scalable
it
was
scales
in the
somewhat.
initial plans or initial
yeah, we
thinking.
knew it wasn't going to be scalable for sure.
What was that? What was that last bit?
It wasn't going to be scalable for sure.
Add it one more time.
Yeah, we knew it wasn't going to be scalable for sure.
Ridiculous. So that's Ethereum for you. And now we're gonna have like a little bit of XRP. I'm gonna cut this one down. But yeah, always worth having a listen to. Here we go.
Pleasure to have you, David. All right, so I was hoping you could comment perhaps briefly on this piece of news out this morning. Is Ripple hoping to find evidence that XRP is similar to Bitcoin and Ether and should not be considered a security?
Yeah, I think the primary argument that we're trying to make here is that the market considers them similar. We considered them similar. All of the evidence suggested that they were similar, and then the SEC just comes out of nowhere and say, nope, they're completely different. Ripple's a company. We're based in San Francisco. We have employees. We have shareholders. We have a CEO. I work for that company. I'm the chief technology officer. And it's a company like any other company. It's centralized. What the CEO says goes. There's a board of directors. It just works like any other company. The XRP is a digital asset. It's censorship resistant. It's publicly traded. It trades on the XRP ledger. Ripple does not own or control the XRP ledger in any way.
So how did Ripple then get all the XRP that it has? It has about half the supply. So just how did that particular transaction happen?
The XRP ledger has a very different design from what Bitcoin and Ethereum have, and many other digital assets. Like in Bitcoin, the stakeholders are at least to some extent the miners, and the miners reap the rewards of the transaction fees. The XRP ledger doesn't work that way. It is not competitive. Nobody's competing to reap fees. Because it's not a competitive system, it doesn't have any way to sort of award fees to a particular party. Because although if it had a way to award fees to particular parties, people would compete for those fees, and it would become competitive. So the way it's design works is when the ledger first began operation, the 100 billion XRP, all that will ever exist, were sort of up for grabs. And lots of people grabbed XRP out of that system, but it just so happens that obviously, just like early miners mined, huge amounts of Bitcoin before the public knew about it or was using it, early XRP users grabbed large amounts of that pool of XRP. And so the people who developed the ledger wound up with, the vast majority of it, and then have been distributing it since then.
That's right, David. the developers who developed the system grabbed it all. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna shorten that video down for my show's sake. But let's just have a look at transactions again for any newbies. This is an awesome chart to look at. 3 years on a log curve. This is Bitcoin. Beautiful, beautiful. Scaling test network. Just checking this. No records broken today. That's alright. Still fantastic figures. Loving that. Trends.cash. TDXP. Macking it hard. Whoa, look at that. Look at that. My goodness. Apps ranking by performed action. Crypto fights now with 33.7%. Absolutely macking it hard. TDXP app down in 10th. Twitch in 9th. And again, some of these other big players here, we don't even know what they are yet because testing the network, like I said, we know that Worldline, $3.4 billion company, second phase of testing. Oh yes, indeed. Loving that. Crypto Quant, so Floyd, if you're watching, you can see that this is a BTC all exchanges reserves. Now, why would exchanges reserves be selling out? Because they know it's absolutely fundamentally worthless. They've been selling out before everybody else finds out that it's fundamentally worthless. But their selling has caused a liquidity squeeze, which has caused a spike in the price, which is what you're seeing here. But now you're seeing the downtrend. And only Tether has been pumping the price of BTC. That is it. There are no institutions or family offices. It's a liquidity squeeze and the pumping of Tether. Now that can't go on forever. What are we looking at here? It's not looking good. Get out while you can. Oh dear, oh dear. What's on chain? Here we go. Look at loving this. So we've got 6,600 transactions. Estimated block size. Next one 15 megabytes. Mempool usage 26.51 megabytes. Loving that. Now just earlier on today, somebody reported this. Dean Little said they said it couldn't be done, but here we are. A huge congratulations to Tau for becoming the second transaction processor to mine a 0/0/0 transaction, 0 sats in, 0 sats out, 0 sats in fees. Welcome to the club. Now, I guess this is just simply to do with the fact that they can do it. It's efficiencies. They're literally like mining this, and they can still. It just means that they can. It just means that they can process tiny transactions somehow. Again, I'm not really techie. I'm more a fundamentals person. So I mean, I guess it's just to do with efficiency. I mean, how can you mine something that small? It's 0 sats, so it's basically minus sats. So there's 100 million sats in a Bitcoin, really. So I mean, it's micro movements. Below 100,000ths of a Bitcoin, which is pretty amazing, really. So yeah, chuffed with that one. So this is a memory pool. Again, this is what a memory pool is meant to look like. Data comes in, then it gets cleared. Data comes in, then it gets cleared. What it's not meant to look like is a swimming pool, which is often what BTC looks like. Oh no, didn't want to do that. Bolt. Where are we? Let's go back to that one. Joho's meme pool. There we go. Back to the beginning. So what it's not meant to look is BTC. So oh, look at that. So I mean, this is looking sparsy. I mean, like jumping around, it's not being cleared properly. But that's because I just think due to lack of usage, because the price is going down, people just don't trust it anymore. Dear oh dear. And you can see this shit show taking place on TX Street. Look at this. So even though there's hardly anybody using it at the moment, look at this. There's still a median fee of $1.07 on the network. Look at, there's no one using it. Look, there's no data in the memory pool. Oh, I think this could be the beginning of the end. Oh my goodness me. And look at Ethereum here, absolute shit show. All these like crypto loans, yield farming, all this crap. Again, it's all going to disappear because it's all for trading. They're just simply providing liquidity for trading, which is crypto gambling, because they're gambling on something that literally has no fundamental value. None of these cryptocurrencies do, because they're fiat currencies, total scams. Total scams. So even though we saw, what was the median transaction fee then? It was something ridiculous, wasn't it? Here we go, show videos, shorts. We just kind of have a listen to Vitalik Buterin. In fact, we'll refresh that page. Yeah, just so it brings up the refresh. Oh, so 80 cents median transaction fee. So Vitalik, what have you got to say about an 80 cents transaction fee? Let us know.
The internet of money should not cost 5 cents a transaction. It's kind of absurd.
5 cents transaction. So what do you call 80 cents a transaction? Dear oh dear. So let's have a look at our own shit show. I mean, look at this. Look at the amount of money that is being printed. So what do we know about vast amounts of money being printed in an empire? Let's have a listen.
Statistical analysis has found that every time an empire begins to near its own demise, you'll find that its currency will be debased.
So it's being debased and there's lots of money being printed. Is anybody keeping an eye on this? Does anybody know where it's going? Let's ask Elizabeth Coleman, shall we?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Inspector Coleman, you're the Inspector General for the Federal Reserve, right? Okay.
That's correct.
I have a copy of the Inspector General Act here in front of me, and it says, among other things, that it's your responsibility to conduct and supervise audits and investigations relating to the programs and operations of your agency.
That's correct.
So I'm asking you if your agency has, in fact, according to Bloomberg, extended $9 trillion in credit, which, by the way, works out to $30,000 for every single man, woman, and child in this country. I'd like to know, if you're not responsible for investigating that, who is?
No, we have responsibility for the Federal Reserve's programs and operations, audits, to conduct audits and investigations in that area. In terms of who's responsible for investigating, would you mind repeating the question one more time?
The question is, have you done any investigation or auditing of off-balance sheet transactions conducted by the Federal Reserve? Do you know who received that money?
I don't know if you're telling me that you're mentioning that there's losses. I'm just saying that we're not, until we actually look at the program and have the information, we are not in a position to say whether there are losses or to respond in any other way to that particular.
Mr. Chairman, my time is up, but I have to tell you honestly, I am shocked to find out that nobody at the Federal Reserve, including the Inspector General, is keeping track of this.
Dear oh dear. So look at all that money being printed. Nobody's keeping track of it. Is it stimulating the economy in any way, shape or form? Let's have a look at the velocity of money. And it appears not. So if it's not stimulating the economy and all this money is being printed, where could it be going? Well, let's do a little bit of investigation. Let's ask Donald Rumsfeld, shall we?
How can we seriously consider a $50 billion increase in the defense budget when DOD's own auditors say the department cannot account for $2.3 trillion in transactions in 1 year alone? Now, my question to you is, Mr. Secretary, what do you plan to do about this?
Decline the nomination. Oh.
Yeah, just $6 billion a day. I just don't know where it's gone. It's just so funny. It just magically disappeared. Arseholes. Absolute arseholes. And, and these are the charts that they didn't want us to see. Look at that. Going absolutely nowhere. So knowing that Bitcoin is the only thing that can save us, how are we feeling about it? CoinGecko feeling good. Hey, 70% plus today. Loving that. Good stuff. Morning run, let's check out these figures. Good, there's only a $2,842 trade volume because these are absolute scam coins. Move fast and break stuff does not mean breaking the law, you fools. Creating this, stay away from this shit show, people. Do not buy any of these shit coins. It's embarrassing. Proof of concept, novelty value, nothing more. Illegal securities. Somebody will pay the price for this one day. Stay away from it. So let's have a look at the depth chart on Bitcoin. So we've currently got 6.1 million asks. That's people willing to sell versus 6.4 million bids, people willing to buy. So more buying pressure than selling just at the moment, but it changes in the blink of an eye. Look at the prices. Oh, going up. Loving that. Let's have a quick look at BSV USD. Oh, yeah. Oh, loving that. Yep, trending upwards. Good. Let's have a BTC USD. Let's see what's going on. Oh, it's going down. It's going down. All right, let's compare the two. BSV, genuine Bitcoin versus BTC. Look at this. Genuine Bitcoin starting to win. Come on. Loving that. Loving that. Let's have a look at the entire shit show. All, you know, little bits of pathetic bits of green, like 0.0% and all that kind of stuff. Let's have a look. Where's Bitcoin? Where is Bitcoin? 4.5%. Up 4.5%. Look at that. Look at that. 4.5% in comparison to 0.4, 2.6, 0.7, 0.05, 2.9. Oh, look at this. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on, you beauty. Oh, love it. Love it. Come on. Oh, it's the little things in life. Great stuff. 551 subscribers. Guess where that's going to be heading? In the same direction as the price of genuine Bitcoin. Loving that. Loving that. And yeah, that was the video of Vitalik. Right, great stuff. That'll do for today. Quite enjoyed this show. 35 minutes and all that. That's all right. Obviously need to cut it down, but quite a few exciting exposés today. So yeah, my tablet's just gone off. So sorry guys, couldn't see you in the chat box. But I hope you enjoyed the show. Live at 5 later on. Catch everybody later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.